Hey everybody, it's Dylan Brewer again. Today my audience will be Madeline Laughlin. So what I wanted to speak about today is athletes, and in recent years there's been a big debate on whether college athletes should be paid or not. Um, the universities, the NCAA has denied these athletes this opportunity because they receive scholarship money from their institution. They think that's enough just to pay them. And a lot of these athletes generate a lot of revenue, whether it's based off their name, their last name, their brand. Um, and a lot of these young superstars aren't getting paid for their university broadcasting their brand. So one of the competing arguments, the justification why athletes are not receiving payment is that they receive a scholarship and they believe that that's enough just for the athlete and their tuition, their board, their to go to school, and their college classes are paid for is just enough for the athlete. Um, Paying players would also create a bidding war for the top players in the country coming out of high school. And also, a lot of these, if the universities start bidding on players, where is that money going to come from? It's going to come from the university, taken away from the students, taken away from other funds with scholarships just to pay this athlete a certain amount of money. So, with my argument, I believe that college athletes should be paid. The revenue that they generate off their brand, their last name, their how their talent, their university is using their talent and all their abilities to make more money, and that athlete isn't receiving any type of reparations just based off their name. And for one example, Tim Tebow was on the cover of NCAA '08, a football game on Xbox, PlayStation. He didn't receive any percentage, any royalties off that money. And that game made millions and millions of dollars. And he didn't receive 1 cent for what he did. And also, college athletes don't have time to work. Being a college athlete like myself, it's a full-time job. And some of these students are some of these student athletes come from areas where their families don't have a lot of money. They don't have a better opportunity like other kids have, and their opportunity is that education they have, and they're not getting a certain money to just live their daily life. They have to use gas, they have to pay for food and other things like that, and they're not receiving any money to take care of those daily life things for them to keep going. So one thing is the NCAA generated $1 billion in revenue last year, and for another example, like the NCAA generated 129.4 million in ticket revenue, and a lot of this money that the universities, the NCAA is receiving, they're not giving it back to the student athletes. So some solutions I came up with is that student athletes should get a certain percentage, either whether it's 10%, 15%, 20%, any type of percentage off the sales, off their merchandise, their brand, their name. If their jersey sales are going up, they should at least get 10% of the royalties or anything off of their brand. Another solution is college athletes should receive a certain amount of payment every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, whether that's say $800 a week, 2 weeks, $500 every 2 weeks, just something so they can live their daily lives and get rewarded for their talents and their abilities. With the growing popularity of college athletes and all these young superstars in the NCAA, I believe they should be rewarded for their talents and abilities, and how the NCAA is using everything right now and using these college athletes' name, I don't believe it's fair. So I'm heading out. It's nice talking to y'all again. I believe college athletes should be paid by the NCAA.